Hi, friends. Welcome back. Today, I want to tell you the true story of a young boy who changed the world with his brain, not with power or money. He was just like any other child, but he had one big difference. He loved to learn, and he never gave up. This boy became the richest man in the world. He built a company that gave us Windows and made computers easy for everyone. He helped millions of people through technology and later through charity. Yes, I'm talking about Bill Gates. This is not just a story about money. It's a story about dreams, hard work, and changing the world. So stay with me till the end. You will learn many new words and get a lot of inspiration. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy learning English through real life stories. Let's begin. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, a city in the United States. His full name was William Henry Gates III, but everyone called him Bill. He lived with his father, mother, and two sisters. His father was a lawyer. His mother was a teacher who later worked with charity groups. As a child, Bill was quiet but very curious. He loved to read books, especially books about science and history. He read for hours every day. While other children were playing games outside, Bill was reading books inside. His parents sometimes had to tell him to stop reading and go play. When Bill was 13 years old, something amazing happened. His school got a computer. At that time, computers were very big and very rare. Most people had never even touched one. But when Bill saw the computer, he felt something special. He was excited. The computer was not easy to use. It didn't have a screen or mouse. You had to type commands and wait. But Bill didn't care. He spent hours and hours learning how to use it. He wanted to understand how the machine worked. Soon, he met a boy named Paul Allen. Paul also loved computers. The two became good friends. They talked about computers all the time. They learned together. They wrote small programs and tried new things. Bill and Paul even got in trouble once. They found a way to use the school's computer for free. The school told them to stop, but later, the school let them use the computer if they helped fix problems. So, they continued learning and helping others at the same time. Bill was not a perfect student. He was smart, but sometimes he got bored in class. He wanted to go faster than the lessons. He was always thinking. His parents noticed this and decided to send him to a better school where he could learn more freely. No one knew that this quiet boy who loved computers would one day become a world-changing inventor. As Bill Gates grew older, his love for computers also grew stronger. He and his friend Paul Allen kept learning new things. They read books about computer languages and wrote simple programs. They were not just using computers, they were creating with them. When Bill was in high school, he and Paul started working on small computer projects. One time, they made a program for counting traffic. They used it to help a local company understand how many cars passed on the road each day. The company paid them for their work. That was their first small business. Bill was only a teenager, but he already had big ideas. He started thinking about building something big, something that could change the world. He believed that one day, computers would be on every desk and in every home. That idea sounded crazy at the time, but Bill believed in it. In 1973, Bill Gates went to Harvard University, one of the best schools in the world. His parents were proud. They wanted him to become a lawyer, like his father. But Bill had other plans. At Harvard, Bill studied math and computer science. He was very smart, but he didn't enjoy all the classes. He spent most of his time in the computer lab. He even stayed there all night sometimes, writing programs and learning more. One day, in 1974, something important happened. Paul Allen showed Bill a magazine. The cover showed the first personal computer, the Altair 8800. It was small, cheap, and made for normal people, not just big companies. Bill and Paul were very excited. They believed this was the future. They decided to build software for this computer, a program that could help people use it. They called the company Microsoft. Micro came from microcomputer and soft from software. Bill was only 19 years old. To follow this dream, Bill did something very brave. He left Harvard. He didn't finish his studies. Many people thought this was a mistake, but Bill knew what he wanted. He wanted to build the future. Together, Bill and Paul started working day and night. They wrote the first version of their software, a programming language called BASIC, and sent it to the makers of the Altair computer. The company loved it. That was the beginning of Microsoft. After the success with the Altair computer, Bill Gates and Paul Allen officially started their company, Microsoft. They moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the company that made the Altair was located. Bill was still very young, but he became the leader of the company. Bill worked very hard. He was focused, serious, and full of energy. He often worked more than 16 hours a day. He read every line of code written by other programmers. He wanted the software to be perfect. He didn't care about fancy clothes or office style. He only cared about building great products. At Microsoft, Bill had a dream, a computer on every desk and in every home. At that time, most people didn't believe in this dream. Computers were too expensive and difficult to use. But Bill believed it would happen, and he wanted Microsoft to lead the way. In 1980, something big happened. A huge company called IBM wanted to make its own personal computer. They needed an operating system, the main software that helps a computer run. IBM came to Microsoft for help. Bill didn't have an operating system yet, but he had a plan. He bought a simple system called QDOS from another programmer, changed it, and sold it to IBM. This system became known as MS-DOS. IBM's computer became very popular, and so did Microsoft. Microsoft didn't just sell the software once. Bill made a smart decision. He licensed it. That means IBM could use the software, but Microsoft still owned it. So when other companies copied IBM's computer, they also needed Microsoft software. This decision made Microsoft grow very fast and made Bill Gates very rich. In 1985, Microsoft launched a new product, Windows. It was easier to use than MS-DOS. Instead of typing commands, users could click on icons. Windows became a big success. Soon, almost every computer in the world was using Microsoft software. Bill was now a young CEO with a big company, but he still worked hard every day. He didn't take long vacations. He didn't waste money. He stayed focused on improving technology. By the time Bill was in his 30s, he had become one of the richest people in the world. But this was not the end of his journey. In fact, it was only the beginning of something much greater. In the 1990s, Microsoft became one of the most powerful tech companies in the world. Almost every personal computer used Windows and Microsoft Office, which included Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. People everywhere, students, teachers, businesses, were using Microsoft's products. Bill Gates became very famous. He was not only a brilliant businessman, but also a symbol of the digital age. In 1995, at just 39 years old, he was named the richest man in the world. His dream had come true. Millions of people now had computers in their homes and offices. But with great success came great challenges. Some people started to criticize Microsoft. They said the company was too big and had too much control. In 1998, the U.S. government took Microsoft to court. They said Microsoft was unfair to other software companies by trying to keep them out of the market. This was a serious case. Bill had to spend a lot of time and energy dealing with this legal battle. It was stressful, but he remained calm and professional. In the end, Microsoft was not broken apart, but the company had to change some of its business practices. Even during this hard time, Bill kept thinking about the future. He believed that the internet was going to change everything. Microsoft created a web browser called Internet Explorer and began focusing more on online services. Bill also wrote a book called The Road Ahead, in which he talked about how technology would shape our future. He wanted people to see that computers and the internet were just the beginning. He believed in a world where technology could help everyone, not just the rich or the powerful. Even as a billionaire, Bill lived a simple life. He didn't wear expensive clothes or live like a movie star. He liked to read, think, and talk about big ideas. He was still the curious boy who once stayed up all night learning about computers. But something inside him was starting to change. He had already changed the world with technology. Now, he wanted to change it in a new way, through giving. And that leads us to the next chapter of his life. After changing the world with Microsoft, Bill Gates started thinking about something even bigger: how to help people live better lives. He had more money than he could ever spend, and he wanted to use it for good. In 2000, Bill and his wife Melinda started a new journey together. They created the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, one of the biggest charity organizations in the world. Their mission was simple but powerful: to help all people live healthy and productive lives. At first, they focused on health. In many poor countries, children were dying from diseases that could be stopped with simple vaccines or clean water. Bill and Melinda used their money to help fight malaria, polio, and HIV. They gave billions of dollars to scientists, doctors, and programs that save lives. They also cared deeply about education. They gave money to schools and teachers. They wanted every child, no matter where they lived, to have a chance to learn and grow. Bill believed that knowledge is power, and he wanted to share that power with the world. In public, Bill became known not just as a tech genius, but also as a philanthropist, someone who uses money to help others. He gave away most of his fortune to the foundation. His goal was not to be the richest man, but to be the most useful. Bill also worked with other billionaires like Warren Buffett. Together, they started something called the Giving Pledge. They invited other rich people to give away at least half of their wealth during their lifetimes to help people in need. Even after stepping down from daily work at Microsoft, Bill didn't stop learning. He read one book every week, visited poor countries, met with leaders, scientists, and teachers. He asked questions and listened to find the best ways to make a difference. In 2020, when the world faced the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gates Foundation helped with money, research, and vaccines. Bill had already warned about a global pandemic years before it happened. Many people realized he wasn't just a businessman. He was a thinker, a planner, and a global helper. Bill once said, "If you are born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake." He believed that with hard work, smart ideas, and kindness, anyone could change their life, and even the world. Today, Bill Gates is one of the most respected and well-known people in the world. He didn't just build Microsoft and change the world of technology. He used his success to improve the lives of millions of people around the globe. He proved that with passion, focus, and hard work, a curious teenager can grow into a global visionary. Here are some powerful lessons from Bill Gates' life. 1. Don't be afraid to fail. In the beginning, many people didn't believe in him. Some of his projects didn't work out, but he didn't give up. He learned from every mistake and moved forward. 2. Read, learn, and grow. Bill loves reading. He still reads one book every week. He believes that learning never ends. 3. Believe you can change the world. He never thought one person couldn't make a difference. He believed in his dreams, worked for them, and helped billions of people. 4. Live simply, think big. Even as a billionaire, Bill dressed simply and lived modestly. But his ideas were always big, ideas that changed the future. 5. Give generously. In the end, the most important thing wasn't how rich he became, but how much he gave to help others. I hope this story inspired you. Now it's your turn. You can dream big. You can work hard. And yes, you can change the world. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, comment below, and share your thoughts. And subscribe to our channel so you never miss powerful stories like this one. Thank you for watching, and remember, your story is just beginning.